Hey everyone. So I got a nice email and a request to do some typology optimization and a really nice donation. And so we'll just get started. Today we're gonna try to make some tree planners using typology optimization. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a mixture between Rhino and Grasshopper, and obviously we could do this in Grasshopper to leave it fully parametric, but we're just gonna try to do a quick one today. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of copy and paste some circles up. Okay, and then I'm going to make one slightly smaller, Oop, just like so. And then I'm going to bring one down, make it slightly bigger. What we're going to use these for is just a loft. And basically why I'm doing all these circles in this order is so when we go to loft it, it's going to go from here to here to here to here to here in that order, if all goes right. So let's type in Grasshopper, get that all loaded up. We'll reference our curves. And we're going to just type in loft, just like that. And I believe we got it. Looks pretty good. Okay, from here I'm just going to mess with the loft just a hair. Okay, maybe we could add a little twist in this one. Get some volume on it. And we'll see where that takes us right off the bat. Okay, this one I might twist too. I don't know if it'll actually matter in the long run, but it might look cool. Okay, and then we're going to use the plugin Lunchbox, and all I'm going to do is use the diagrid, I think, for now, and maybe we'll switch this out later. I'm not quite sure how this will turn out. And so this needs some numbers for the U and V. All right, just like so. So we'll be using those lines. Okay, and then from here, just to get that kind of typology optimization mesh, so it's like shrink wrapping around like these line structures, we're going to use the plugin Chromadoris. You can get that off Food for Rhino really quickly, it's free. And so what we need for that is we need to build an ISO surface, which will be our mesh, and we need to do some sample voxels, which will sample points on these lines. And what we need to do is get some numbers out. So the charge, we'll just do 0.23 or 0.25, whichever. The sample size, do 1.5. The radius, I don't know what our scale is, so just a hair bigger. And then this one needs sample value, so let's leave that kind of small. So the B and the D go into here, our charge, strength go into here, the radius will go into here, and then what this works off of is points. So from that diagrid, we need to divide out those lines. So we'll type in divide curve. All right. And from here, type in 15 for now. Okay, I'm just going to move this over so there's no overlapping. Same with this. And we'll just move all those over since they're all kind of coordinating with each other. And all we need to do from here is plug the points into the point sampler here. Okay. And you'll notice that there's a bunch of boxes happening. So what it's doing is it's not reading it as one volume. And so we need to take those points and actually just flatten them. So it's one singular volume. From here, we can just turn everything off. And we can turn all this stuff off as well. And you'll notice we're starting to get some mesh happening. Okay, so what we can do to actually get this kind of connected is bring up our points if we want, or we could bring down the sample just like that. So we're starting to get a mesh. And now if we were to bake this out and try to view it in rendered viewport, it's going to look a little clunky. See how that is? So what we want to do is kind of smooth that out just a hair. So I'm going to type in smooth, and we'll do smooth mesh. Okay. Oop. And then the strength, we can just do 0.255 for now. And then the strength and iteration, we can try 10. Okay, line those up. We can hide our ISO surface for now. And Smooth that out nice. Okay, so that's looking pretty cool so far. So if we were to bake this out now, it's going to look a lot smoother. Right? Like I said, I think we're going to put a tree down the middle of this and have kind of vines rolling through the inside of it. So let's kind of work with the mesh just a little bit more. Okay, so let's go back, and I'm going to put some more lines in this, just so we get kind of a weaving pattern. And let's rotate a couple of these. There we go. So that's looking pretty cool. All right. I'm glad these are connecting really nicely. All right. What happens if we just pull this down? This might not turn out the greatest. Yeah, it still looks cool. All right. Very nice. Okay. So from here, let's see what that mesh is looking like one more time. So it's looking pretty nice. And if we wanted to smooth that out even more, we could use Weaverbird, another free plugin for Grasshopper. And we could do Catmull Clark, and that would smooth it out quite a bit more as well. Just like so. Still getting kind of weird areas in there that I'm not super thrilled about. So let's try to smooth it out more. Then we'll go over to our Chromadoris, and we can go to the sample value and bring that lower to get that thickness back in there. Just like that. Okay, that's looking better. So if we do smooth again, so that's looking quite a bit better. And it's relatively light mesh. Okay, and I'm going to bring this just lower, so it's not so circular. If we bring that up, less is more. Okay, and let's see what the Catmull looks like. It smooths it out. I'm not super happy with in here, so let's try that one more time. We're going to go back to the voxel sample, try to open up some of those spots just a hair more, especially through here. And it could be, it definitely is based off of that inside curve that we were playing with. So if we rotate that back just a hair, that might help it out significantly. Or if we make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, so I think that's turning out pretty sweet. All right, and then I'm going to use Weaverbird again. From here, what I want to do is basically we're going to use the Weaverbird frame. And I want to give it kind of an outside layer and an inside layer. And I'm going to type in 10 for the actual frame dimension. I have to bump that up just a hair more, go to 20. Okay. Maybe the Catmull is not the way to go either, so let's just play with this just a little bit more. I'm going to give it some thickness. I think by default it's really a high number. We don't need to be giving us a bad mesh. That's still pretty high. Let's bring it down pretty far. Not sure if the Catmull is the way we should be going. If you get an invalid mesh, it's fine. Don't even worry about it. That's looking pretty sweet. What happens if we do no Catmull? We just go from the smooth mesh. Might look better. Yeah, I kind of like that a little bit more. So we're going to mess with, we're going to keep away from the Weaverbird Catmull. Let's mess with the voxel size just a hair so we can see what those triangles give us. Maybe there's a few more variations to this. The triangles keep getting a little bit smaller. Okay. What if we bring our count down just a hair on our divide points? I think this might be it. Oop, we're getting a little red. Okay. Not sure why. So let's just play around with that mesh one more time. There we go. 1.1 works. Get some thickness out of that. Okay, and I think if I'm looking correctly, we need to put a negative on the dimension so it goes outward, not inward. We'll just bake. I think that's correct. Let's bake this frame out real quick. Yes, correct. Okay, so that's looking pretty sweet. All right, now for the second step, just for rendering purposes, I'm going to put an inside mesh on the inside of this so we can make that a vine material. So from here, what I'm going to do is we won't need any of this right at the moment. We'll need the mesh smooth to show up. Okay. From here, I'm going to go back to the sample value and make that quite a bit smaller. And we can hide what we just created really. Or make that smaller on the inside. Just like that. We'll just bake that out and that'll be our vine material. So if we do a show, it'll just be inset. And I might make these openings just a hair bigger. Okay. Let's turn that off. Let's go back to our original setting. Let's bring that a little bit lower so it has that offset again. Okay. Let's make that a hair bigger so we can start to see the leaves kind of popping through. Perfect. Okay, we'll bake that out one more time. Awesome. So that's basically it. So I'm just going to hide those curves just in case we want to do some more. And what I'm going to do is apply some materials to this really quickly. Okay, we'll just make that grass. And we'll make that exterior. I don't know. Let's just make it stainless steel for now. Okay. Awesome. So for our scene, I'm just going to copy and paste these a few times, rotate them around so they look a little bit different from one another. Maybe scale them slightly. Okay, maybe one's a little bit smaller. We'll copy this one around again, put it in the background more, scale it just a little bit smaller again. Okay, maybe rotate it around. I don't think you'll be able to see the difference. Something like that I think is going to look pretty sweet. Okay, make sure we have the grass layer on each one of these. We do. Okay, we should be all set. And just to speed up stuff, what I'm going to do is just join all these meshes together based on material. We can do it by color too. Join. Okay, do the same thing, select by color, for their color, join. All right, and let's make our landscape. So I'm going to type in bounding box, just like that. This will be our base. And what kind of landscape should we do today? I'll put a mixture of water, grass, and sand. So let's rebuild this surface. Let's do 125 by 125. Nice. Okay, I'm going to type in invert to lock those models down. I'm going to copy this since we're going to use it multiple times. Let's do grass first. So let's make these kind of look like they're sitting around patches of grass. Okay. However you guys want to do it. So kind of think there might be mountains in the background or something. All right, I'm just going to lift these up kind of tall, and we can scale them later. And from here, I'm going to just hit paste. That was our original surface. And with the grass, I'm going to turn on the points. And let's make little divots where water can go. All right, so I'm thinking through here, some through here. I'm doing it on both surfaces, just so it gives kind of the appearance of like these kind of puddles, potentially. Hopefully. You never know. Okay, we'll do some up on the hillside here, maybe some here. What we're going to do is lower those, just like that. All right, so let's change some materials here. This will be our grass layer. The bottom layer, which is going to be our sand layer, we'll change that. What I'm going to do is just type in smooth so they don't look so machined. Okay, do that one more time. Awesome. And so we don't see any sand. So what we need to do, just lower that grass. The sand will appear. Just like so. Okay, and these look, it looks like a pretty crazy landscape, so I'm just gonna try to flatten that out just a hair. Bring it up to our model space, so it looks like they're sitting on some sort of ground. And then I'm gonna just type in paste again. And this is where our water is gonna be. Nice. So it should look a little something like that. Okay. And then, just so we get some variation on where these are all sitting, put the first one on the sand here. This one might have to come up just a hair. So I'm going to type in unlock. Oop. And I know we joined these already, but I'm just going to do a split disjoin mesh. Can't do that, I guess. Never mind. So a little too late. But one thing we can do is hold Control Shift. Select over that whole mesh there. We'll just bring them up manually. Won't hurt a thing. Let's slow up our computer just a bit, but that's all right. That one looks good. This one looks great. And we'll just do an unlock, and we are all set for Lumion. All right, so we imported to Lumion just perfectly, so we're going to apply some materials to everywhere. All right, so the grass we have here, so what we'll do is just add some 3D grass everywhere. That looks pretty good. It's coming out of the planters a little bit too heavy. Let's see if we can get a different version. The last one was better. Okay, so let's bring down the grass size just a hair. Okay, and so that works out. The reason I did it in Rhino like that, so now we don't have to add planting. So it's kind of like the grass is kind of just, you know, kind of just going away as it reaches the sand, right? Okay, and then, you know, on the actual planters, it's just kind of coming out. Gravity force, I don't know if we really care about that, but we're going to take that all the way down. Bending force, fine. Okay, so that's looking cool. The sand, which we'll just add that as a material. Do various soil. In the new Lumion, you can do displacement mapping now, which is awesome. So we can make the sand actually look semi-real. Make that kind of tall. Make the relief kind of big. That looks awesome. The water looks a little bit too much like an ocean. We need to kind of just settle. So nice and calm, maybe a little bit of a breeze. The scale, bring that down. I don't even know what scale we're working in, which is not very professional, but it happens. We'll bring that foam up just a bit, like it's been sitting for a while. And bring that foam down actually a little bit. Okay. I'll lower that border displacement. It looks like it's a little bit too heavy. Bring the waves up just a hair. Looks great. Okay, and then this material, I'm not quite sure what material that should be. Maybe it'll be some sort of tile. kind of just like the white, but it's a little too heavy. Let's just leave it white. That's fine. So that's looking great so far. Okay. And let's add some objects in here. So let's add a person first, maybe. Let's do trees first. So we have sand. Let's see here. Let's do palm trees since they're a little bit tall. These structures are pretty large, so that might be a little too tall. That looks pretty cool. Just about perfect scale too. What are the ones I got? Too small. I know we could scale them, but I'm just getting picky. Yeah, let's go back to that one. Gotta read. Where was it? Well, we might have to scale. Bummer. Pretty edged out. All right, let's do this one. It does fit in there really nicely. Okay. So this might be the tricky part, is trying to line it up. I'm just going to scale it slightly. Where's it going? Okay, we'll have to move that later. It's fine. Okay, we'll try to get it in a plan view maybe. These back ones don't really matter so quite as much. Okay, this one's kind of semi in water. Nice. See what those are looking like. That one is perfect. It's just the first one that kind of messed up on. So we'll move that over just a hair. I have to get up in plan view. Let's just get in there. There we go. Perfect. Looks great. All right, and let's just add some, maybe some tropical plants everywhere. Or if they have some, or if they got any just regular bushes. Not a big fan of those. Oh, geez. That might be a little too green for me. Nothing's looking cool. This might be all right. So if we just kind of scatter that around in certain areas, could paint it, turn down the density. Okay. The brush size kind of scares me. Okay. Let's something like that. Turn up the density just a hair. Hair more. What's that looking like? So that's looking decent. Paint some more. Do some out in the distance here. Do some through here. Maybe just a few out here. Okay, what's that looking like for us? Not too shabby. I don't mind if it's in the water, honestly. Get some out here. So that's looking pretty cool. Kind of like these cocoons or something. All right, hit OK for that. Let's put a person in there. Little girl. Rotate her around. Okay, maybe she's got an animal with her. And let's see, get some. That's kind of not resort-like, but it's kind of tropical. So let's get some. Oh, we got seagulls maybe. Yeah. So select those guys. Okay, pick those guys up. Actually, we'll move them over first. Okay, we'll lift them. So they're swarming the little girl, freaking her out. It's a lot of birds. Okay, now I kind of want it just a few brighter plants, I guess, too. I'm getting picky. Some of the plant selection looks good. Some of it, the coloration is just a bit odd to me. And let's do some logs, maybe. What are some of these looking like? Maybe as if there was a lot of trees here or something. These are twigs. Make that a little bit bigger. That's a seating area or something. This is the tree stump or something like that. That one looks a little bit too big. Unless my scale's really off. Yeah, it is. Just scatter that just around a bit. All right, I think this is pretty much set up. Yeah, it's looking cool. I'll rotate that girl. She looks a little freaky. Why are you out there by yourself, little girl? Same as the dog. Take that guy around just a hair. All right, cool. Let's get to rendering. Okay, pick that camera real quick. All right, so we got everything looking pretty cool. So set that again. If we do an overcast day, would that look nice? Do a little preview. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Bring out that focal length just a bit. A little bit moody. Moody for some cool structures. Yeah. All right. That sprawls it way too much. Kind of like that. Okay. I want to make sure these are in 2-point perspective. Much better. Okay. Let's put that camera right there. Let's do a test spot again. I'm going to raise the camera up just a hair so we're taller than the little girl. Center her out so we get some of that water view. Lift it up just a hair again. Okay. That's looking cool. What else should we get? Not sure if we'll need a sun, but it might help. Let's do sun brightness really low. Just quite a bit lower. The real skies might just be enough for this. Okay. Let's go to that fog. Let's make sure those mountains kind of dissipate out in the background. That's looking better. I feel like there's too much foreground. What happens if we take out that sun? Just curious. Yeah, kind of need the sun. Unless the real skies, we can change that out just a hair. Yeah, we'll put the sun back on. I'm liking it. And the last thing I want to just see, I don't know if it'll work, or look good, I should say. See what precipitation looks like on here. Yeah, I kind of like that. Let's add some more fog to that background, so it's kind of like a Hawaiian field or something. Yeah, that looks good. I think we're all set to hit that render button. Okay, I'm going to add just a few more raindrops. Very cool. All right, let's get ready to render this. There's 64. One thing I might do in the materials is tone down the grass material. It's kind of getting a little bit overpowering in some spots. It looks cool, but yeah. Or if there's a little bit more variation in it. Let's try that one more time. All right, let's go to materials. Just go straight to the grass there. Let's see. Still want it to pop out in some areas, but not as much as it was. Okay. What does gravity force actually do here? Let's see. Let's tone down that length just a bit. The roughness, does that make it? Doesn't really affect us, does it? Curliness, yeah, that's better up. What's this do? That's kind of the variation. I kind of like it bigger. Okay, let's try that out. I keep wanting to get closer. I think we will. Fold that up just a bit. Move that camera just a hair over. What's that look like? Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Because up close it looks cool. So we don't want to take away from that. I think that's our shot for sure. Now we can't even see the grass. Gosh darn it. Okay, so we need to mess with the grass one more time, just so we can see it. It's kind of a waste to have it in there if we're not going to see it. Okay, let's zoom in on it. Let's say the grass size is just bigger. What if we do grass length? Okay. See up close, it looks really cool. Yeah, okay. What's that looking like? Still can't see the grass. Let's try that again. So it is the grass size, not the grass length. Okay. So bring that up. Bring that down. Try again. What happens if we render it out full? The preview just wasn't showing us correctly. I don't know. I kind of like it. I don't know what these weird things are. Maybe we brush some grass up on the structures, especially through here. I have to take those off. Bummer. I thought we were done. Easy fix. Other than that, it's looking pretty cool. Okay, let's go back to our objects, go to planting, and we'll try to select the ones that are above here. Delete those guys out. Is there one over here? Yeah. Let's zoom in to make sure we get them all. I think we did. Okay. And I'm being very, very picky right now, but try that grass one more time. Bring the size down. Okay. Go back to a full render. 64. Much better. So a lot of this we'll touch up in Photoshop, but I'm going to bring out the white quite a bit more just because we chose overcast as the setting. Try to pop that little girl so she's noticeable. I really like the logs that are just kind of placed around the site there. And I think this is ready to go to Photoshop. All right. And so in Photoshop, I'm just gonna Control J to make a new or duplicate the layer. I'm just gonna see what happens with the auto tone, auto colors. Not a lot because it seems pretty. It's not weighted towards a kind of a warm or cool side. I'm just gonna use the burn tool to pop these whites colors out just a bit. Green, kind of saturate that out. That little girl, if we can just burn that just to get some highlights out of her. Try to get these nice browns out of the logs that are in the background. Just like so. Try to get kind of pops of saturation everywhere. And then that fog out in the distance, I'm going to try to highlight that. And it makes the straight line of our site kind of go away from our Rhino model. It's kind of a trick to make kind of the laziness of me go away. And kind of just bleed that into the mountain just a hair. Judging by these mountains, I'm not sure if there'd be palm trees at on the floor here, but it's not real, so it doesn't matter. That looks looking really great. Awesome. Okay. What I'm going to do next is, and I don't know if this is the best solution, I'm going to try to just tone that down just a hair to get back to our original. Just 70% maybe. Okay. And then from here, what I want to do is try to highlight those whites in particular spots. So if we go to Filter Gallery, we can do Diffuse Glow. And you'll notice like little spots like that get highlighted really nicely. What I like to do, pop that out quite a bit. And we're going to use it as kind of a filler space, okay? So from here, I'm just going to erase out that fog again, otherwise it looks not as natural. That actually looks pretty good, but still. Then through here, do the same. Just go through the model and kind of take out portions. It's looking great. So anyway, I think this is pretty much finished. So if you guys have any other things you want me to do, or if you're trying these at home, why don't you share them on your Instagram or wherever. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Dano Cabot Design, YouTube, Dano Cabot Design. And we'll try to keep doing these. Sorry, I've been kind of relaxed on them. Holidays came up, and obviously Christmas is coming up soon, so it might be away for just a bit, but try my best to make time. And anyway, reach out, have fun with these, and we'll be talking to you soon.